What's up guys, Adrian here, back with another video, and I'm going to talk about episode number 3 of Obi-Wan. And my first impressions is this one was the best out of the 3. There was a lot of tension in this one, and a lot of suspense because you knew Vader was bound to show up, and boy did he show up. So the episode starts off with Obi-Wan and little Leia. They're at this mining town, and they're gonna meet up with that fake Jedi guy who was ripping people off for money in the last episode, but he never showed up. So they hitch a ride with this mole creature thing that's driving. And I will mention this about little Leia. In this episode, she wasn't that annoying. She still acts like she's a 50-year-old woman, bossing everybody around, having an attitude, and she was even giving orders to people, which was weird. But you did have some moments where her and Obi-Wan kind of bonded, and you had some like tender moments, so I guess that helped with her character. So the reason this episode was so tenseful was because you're always wondering if they're gonna get caught by either Darth Vader or the Empire. So as they're driving with that mole creature, they pick up some stormtroopers, and those stormtroopers are looking for Jedis. And that scene was very good as they were sitting across from each other, and you have Obi-Wan and little Leia lying about what their real names are and their story. So the dumb stormtroopers end up falling for their fake story and they leave. Then they get to a checkpoint where there's more stormtroopers, and that little ugly mole creature turns on them and they're like, hey stormtroopers, you better check these guys out. They're kind of suspicious. Never trust a mole creature. So the stormtroopers start interrogating them. A drone shows up and they tell Obi-Wan to look into the drone. He panics, pulls out a gun, shoots the drone, fights the stormtroopers, and even saves Leia. And then just when you think they escape, more stormtroopers show up with this female commander. And then the female commander tells them to get down on the ground, and then she pulls out a gun and you think that she's gonna shoot Obi-Wan. And this is another example of where the scene was not tenseful in this case, because you know she's not gonna shoot Obi-Wan. He's not gonna die, because you know the original movies. So when she pulled out the gun, I knew there's gotta be a catch or some twist. And of course, she ends up turning on the stormtroopers, shooting them, and she is an undercover rebel sympathizer, I think, and is only pretending to work with the Empire. And she is friends with that fake Jedi that they were supposed to meet up. So she ends up helping Obi-Wan and little Leia. So I remembered early on in the episode, as they're walking through that mining area, Obi-Wan has a hallucination and he actually sees Anakin Skywalker far in the distance, and that's the first time you get to see Hayden Christensen. So that was pretty cool. And even before that, Obi-Wan was trying to force communicate with Qui-Gon Jinn's ghost, but he still didn't show up. I guess he's still putting Obi-Wan on hold for now. So he didn't show up in this episode, but he will. And they did show Vader, which was awesome. The episode started out with Vader's arms and legs being screwed in to his torso, and his suit being put on, and his helmet being put on, and that was epic. When the helmet slides on, he does the breathing, the awesome. I watched that scene like a dozen times. And then they even had a separate scene with Darth Vader where he ends up talking to that Reva character who is like the black female Darth Vader ripoff with her suit. And I'm sorry to say, she is so generic, so plain, unmemorable. She doesn't stand out in the universe. She doesn't even look like she belongs in the Star Wars universe. But Darth Vader basically tells her, if you accomplish this mission and I'm satisfied with your work, then I'll promote you to whatever position. So she has a motivation to find Obi-Wan and little Leia. So far, they used Darth Vader perfectly and they didn't ruin his character. So now we cut back to Obi-Wan and little Leia at this little mining town full of people or prisoners because they're being occupied by stormtroopers, and the people look really poor, down and dingy. So it's not a good place to be, I guess. So that female commander smuggles them in to this hiding area, and they're supposed to meet up with this other guy to take them to the spaceship and take them off the planet. However, Darth Vader and those Inquisitors show up to that town. And every time Darth Vader was on the screen, there was so much tension because even though though I knew Darth Vader and Obi-Wan are not going to kill each other, but I was worried that, oh my god, is he going to find Obi-Wan? Is he going to find little Leia? So that's why I really liked this episode. It was a lot of high tension. So when Darth Vader showed up to the town, I was saying to myself, yo, Obi-Wan, get the hell out of here because you're a Jedi, Vader's a Jedi, they can sense each other. So Darth Vader, as the camera pans on him, you could see he's looking left and right, and he does sense something. Not quite sure if he senses Obi-Wan yet, but he definitely senses something is up. So then he just starts randomly force choking these poor people that live in the town, lifting them up in the air, snapping one guy's neck for no reason. And I was thinking, like, why is he doing this so randomly? It doesn't seem like Darth Vader. But then I realized, oh, if there is a Jedi in the town, he would want to save those people. Kind of like earlier in the first episode when Reva threw that knife at that bar area, and then that one Jedi who was hiding out used the Force to stop the knife and save the bartender. I get it now. But as much as Obi-Wan wanted to help, he was smart to just say, forget it, and he was leaving. So that female commander takes Leia and is supposed to take Obi-Wan, but Obi-Wan's like, I'm gonna stay here. I gotta see what's going on with Darth Vader, but don't worry, I'll be right behind you. In the meantime, Obi-Wan goes out into the fields, and this is at night now, and tries to find Vader. And I was thinking to myself, are they gonna have Darth Vader and Obi-Wan fight right now? Because obviously they're gonna save it to the final episode to have the ultimate match of the galaxy. But I did like that they did meet up and they did fight a little bit. It was basically a one-sided beatdown. Vader was toying with him and they actually talked to each other. Obi-Wan was like, oh my god, Anakin, what have you become? And then Vader replied, only what you have made me. So that was cool. And then just when you thought they were gonna fight, Obi-Wan runs off again. But Vader's coming after him, and then finally Vader shows up with the red lightsaber and is about to attack Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan pulls out his blue lightsaber and they start fighting back and forth. And basically Vader is just like using one arm like he's freaking Neo from the Matrix at the end of the movie when he's fighting Agent Smith, and he's just using one arm with the lightsaber, and Obi-Wan is giving it all he's got with two hands, and Vader is just too strong. And Vader didn't want to instantly kill Obi-Wan. He wanted to punish him for what he did to Anakin. So later in the fight, Vader turns over this like big container of coal or something, and then he lights the coals on fire with the lightsaber, and there's like this huge fire pit, and then he force lifts Obi-Wan in the air, makes him drop the lightsaber, and he just throws him in the fire pit on one side and drags him across the fire. And Vader even says, like, the pain that you're about to experience hasn't even started yet. This was tenseful because even though I knew Vader wasn't gonna kill Obi-Wan, but Obi-Wan was gonna take some serious damage. But in the meantime, they cut back to that female commander with little Leia, and this whole time little Leia's like, okay, we gotta go back, we gotta help Obi-Wan, he needs help, which was kind of nice. Now this part I did not like because all of a sudden little Leia's talking to that female commander and she's like, let me go alone, I can take care of myself, you go back and help Obi-Wan. And this female commander is like, okay, bye. I was like, what? Obi-Wan specifically told you, stay with Leia, make sure she gets to whoever guy she needs to meet up with, keep her safe. And then a little 10-year-old girl convinces this female commander to obey her and leave her alone and go help Obi-Wan, whatever. So that female commander shows up to help Obi-Wan. Just when you think Obi-Wan's gonna get burned even more, she shoots one of the stormtroopers that's with Vader and distracts everyone, and she blows up some tank, and there's more fire, and that separates Obi-Wan from Vader and the stormtroopers. And then this droid that was with them from the beginning, some loader droid that didn't talk, shows up, picks Obi-Wan, takes him to safety, and you can see that he is severely burnt on one side of his body. And then Vader, like, you know, just lets him live. He left him alone for now. I like how they're building it up, but don't do these interactions between Vader and Obi-Wan too much. It was fine now to whet our palates, but in the next episode, don't keep meeting them up together and having matches, because it's all leading up to the final episode with their huge rematch. But if we already seen them fight a little bit in every episode, when they finally meet up in the finale, the rematch ain't gonna be that special. So the way the episode ended, little Leia was all by herself trying to meet up with that guy that's supposed to take her to the spaceship, but instead Reva finds the tunnel and she ended up killing the guy that little Leia was supposed to meet up with, and instead finds little Leia. Obviously, Reva is not the person she's supposed to meet up with, so the last scene basically was Leia running away and Reva going after her. So we don't know if Leia gets captured, maybe she'll get away. We don't know, we gotta watch the next episode. So thankfully, Vader in this episode was not ruined. But hey, there's always next episode. So thanks for watching, till next time, see you next video.